sat cross-legged on the couch, mascara stains and guilt and doubt. I'm worried who I'm turning out to be. My personality's still a maze, and things they won't just be okay. Should I camel for the people I actually need? Oh, I miss the girl I used to be, smiling through her crooked teeth. She never took the time to analyze. I miss when love was simplicity, and people they were just meant to be. At 20 I'm coming to realize all I do is compromise. Hi, I'm Esme Dawn, and I am a singer-songwriter based in Brighton and Hove. The song you just heard was called Compromise, and it is on my debut EP, I'll Find New Mistakes, which I released about a month ago. Yeah, it's out everywhere, so go stream it. Oh, I'll feel regret in years to come when I'm still broken, left undone. 'Cause I never thought to try for what I want. How do I get above the floor? They say it's the lowest I can go. And yet I know that I'm still falling through parts of myself I thought I knew. I miss the girl I used to be, with all the dreams of fantasy, when fear wasn't the owner of my mind. I miss when love was simplicity, and people they were just meant to be. At 20 I'm coming to realize all I do is compromise. Oh, and you'll be there forever, waiting to connect the dots. Oh, it's funny, I can't help but mourn everything I've lost. In a short time I've had it all, and they will watch me as I fall. 'Cause I would rather be another forgotten dream than a failed attempt at who I wanted to be. I miss the girl I used to be, not plagued by this anxiety. Ones that could give me peace inside my mind. I miss when love was simplicity, and people they were just meant to be. At 20 I'm coming to realize all I do is compromise.
Thank you so much for that. That was fantastic. That
No
was
problem.
amazing to hear Compromise live and in the flesh in a nice acoustic setting.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
No, it was amazing. So this came off your new EP that came out a couple of weeks ago, roughly.
Yeah.
It's out now, everybody.
It's out now,
Yeah.
everywhere. So the EP is called I'll Find New Mistakes. Yeah, I released it, I think maybe just over a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago now, sort of right around as summer began. But yeah, this is the fourth track on the EP. So on the EP you've got At 11, which was my first single, Katie, Don't Remember Asking, Crashing My Car Again, and Compromise. And yeah, I'm super proud of it, actually. It was sort of my first release that wasn't a single. So
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's really exciting to release.
It's a really lovely body of work. I think you should be very proud of it.
Thank you very much.
I mean, saying this is kind of like your first EP, would you know, compared to the singles, what was the kind of approach like doing it like this?
Okay, so I obviously, like, it was my first time doing anything sort of more similar to like an EP or an album. Singles were easier for sure. For a lot of reasons. So first of all, cheaper.
Yeah, it's
so
way
cheaper.
Doing like a
there's so many excess costs that you have to like
think about.
How many many hoops that you have to jump through when you're like releasing something. It's just like a million extra things that all these different sites want from you, for instance, when you're uploading to DistroKid, and then they get you through to obviously all the streaming services. There's just like a million things. They're like, oh, I'll pay an extra £8 here to get it as loud as all the other songs on Spotify. Well, I don't want it to be quieter than all the other songs on Spotify, so I'm obviously gonna have to.
It's an almost not optional cost, isn't it? It's like, well, I'm not gonna like just sit there and have like a quiet whisper.
Like, it's so silly. When you do an EP, you have to pay all those costs, obviously, times 4 for every single song, and it actually costs you a fair bit of money. And I didn't think about that. And also, in regards to like artwork as well, so much more difficult to try and think of like a photo or artwork that will sort of
match the body of work.
Match the body of like 4 different songs. Like, it was so much easier when I was doing it for At 11 or Katie, the first 2 singles that I released. Katie, I knew exactly what sort of vibe I wanted. I wanted this like really like grungy sort of look, which isn't my usual vibe anyway, but the song itself was like really bitter and quite angry, and I sort of wanted the artwork to represent that. But you know, mix that in with Compromise and Crash My Car Again, all 3 of those songs are completely different. The stories that I'm sort of telling or describing are completely different. So it was really hard to sort of try and think of something
to match that.
Represented all 4 of them. But I was actually really happy with how it came out in the end.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a really great, like, the aesthetic of the EP is fantastic.
Thank
and all the kind
you.
of promotional art around it's really stand out. It's a really quite cool look to it.
Yeah, shout out to Gemma Sargent actually, because she did all the photography for my EP and for my last single, Katie, and she did a fabulous job. I sort of, what I ended up doing was trying to take a photo, because I'd written the songs. I mean, so Crash in My Car Again I actually wrote when I was 17, but the other 3 songs I've written all in the time where I've been at university. When I've sort of been like, you know, as you do at university when you're a student, it's a lot of like late nights and crazy mornings and trying to get to class when you've been out till 5 a.m. and all that sort of thing. So I sort of went with the vibe of, okay, what's my overall aesthetic for maybe the last few years I've spent here, you know, whilst I've been writing these songs, like, what has my life sort of looked like?
How's that, you know, representing that time?
Yeah, so that was hence the reason I went for like a sort of like a party go aesthetic, but like in my bedroom in the morning with like a cup of tea and like cereal, sort of like, and like busy writing a song. It's like, do you know what, that probably does represent. It probably
represents that as well as it could have done.
So at 11, I think I was around 20. And Compromise was actually, I think it came a couple of songs after that. So I wrote At 11, and then I wrote another song called Try, which is actually in my set list if you've ever been to one of my live shows, but it's not.
Which we have. We went and saw you with Juno a couple of weeks ago.
And I wrote Compromise around that time too. Katie came a little bit later. Katie's the most recent song I've written that's on the EP. So it was sort of, Compromise was written at the start of second year of uni. I was feeling quite low. I was sort of on the rocks with my boyfriend at the time, and I was feeling really like, I don't know, sort of just like lost. I was sort of in second year of uni. I felt a lot of pressure with a lot of the people around me that I wasn't quite as far forward as they were and that sort of thing. And I just like didn't really know what I wanted. And I sort of just constantly felt like I was, I don't know, sad, and I couldn't work out why I was sad, because I was like, what is going on? Like, you should be happy. That it was just sort of like finding my confidence and finding like where my priorities lay.
Finding your feet and stuff like that.
But yeah, Katie then came round. It was sort of it's not really sus. It was just about an old friend that I had, and we had a big old disagreement and
well, you know, conflict's great for drama.
I wish her all the best now, but at the time, I wrote a song with a friend of mine, and we started writing it, and we ended up calling it Katie, and it was sort of just written in a moment of a lot of anger and like hatred and stuff, but it's a nice mix up on the EP, because At 11 is sort of like a bit more folksy, like Fleetwood Mac vibes when I wrote it. Katie is a bit more like slightly heavier and like grungier, and it's a lot of fun to play live, because like it's a proper boogie song. And then Crash in My Car Again's again a bit sort of like folkier, a bit more low key, and then Compromise is obviously a bit more emotional.
Bit of a slower, more stripped back. But it's lovely. But it's nice having that balance, I think, throughout the EP of having those different sounds and different pulls.
Yeah, that was what was important to me. I sort of wanted to have a bit of everything in there. I've listened to a lot of Fleetwood Mac, Holly Humberstone. I've listened to a lot of Noah Kahan and Zach Bryan. I like a country and like folk hint in my songs, but like I'm not overtly that way.
Overly reliant on that. It's more,
I mean, I love a bit of pop. I love a bit of Sabrina Carpenter, and and I'm not, I don't mind Taylor Swift as well. No. I think a bit of everything sort of has influenced me. As far as like at 11 goes, I was definitely listening to a lot of Fleetwood Mac around that time. So I remember thinking a lot about that, and my grandparents are like big country music, well not big, but like they were country musicians all their lives. And it was sort of around that time that like my nan passed away, so when I was producing that song, I really wanted it to have a bit of a country feel, or like hints of it anyway. For Katie, oh god, I actually couldn't tell you who my influences were for that. I feel like I was more thinking like Avril Lavigne. I remember thinking like, I feel so angry about this, and I remember thinking about like Complicated by Avril Lavigne a lot during that time. And then Compromise, god, I'm not too sure actually. Probably some like singer-songwritery type artist that was like lyrically focused. I mean, that sort of song was inspired by like my own events rather than an artist sort of thing. But yeah, kind of a
very like, very personal sort of trying to get that across.
I think
it's it's a very emotionally charged song, and it's very much like sort of your own story, as it were. Kind of bringing it through from that.
So it was on a little bit of a deadline, to be honest, because I first decided, so I knew I wanted to put out at 11, but I obviously did it as like alongside uni, for my final project, like my dissertation equivalent at uni. You could kind of choose what you did, and I decided that I wanted to release an EP. So when I decided that was probably around like September, October last year. And I was like, okay, best I get my ass into gear. And I need to choose the songs, first of all. At that point, I'd started rehearsing with the band a little bit, but like a few members dropped out and I had to replace them. It was all a bit of a nightmare. It was, putting a band together is never easy, especially for like, realistically, I am a solo artist and I'm asking all of these people to do me a favor. Essentially, like a nice favor, because they're my friend and they can play the instrument that I need them to play.
You can do that, I'm sure you can,
realistically, they're not writing the songs or anything, so they're playing something that they wouldn't necessarily want to play or choose to play, so it's quite a lot to ask of somebody. And when I first decided that I wanted to obviously make an EP, I obviously spoke to them about it and like got like the final people that were going to be in the band on board, and they agreed to do like the 4 songs for the EP. It took around, I would say, like six months. So my producer Daniel Davies, so he did it all with me, and we did sort of a mix of at-home recording and recording in the studio. We recorded vocals and drums at Homewood Recording Studios.
Lovely.
And then we did a lot of the guitar and bass, sort of just like in like bedroom recordings and stuff, and like just like with our own equipment. And then he mixed it, and then I sent it off to a guy named Martin Cooper who mastered it. But the whole thing took around sort of 6 months. But the thing is that it's not just the music that you have to think about, and you also have to obviously promote it online. Get all like the artwork for it. You then have to like, it's quite a common thing at the moment amongst like musicians that I know anyway, to have like release gigs, and it's like, oh my god, I've got a million things to do, and it's all due on the same day. Like, how am I
just
ever
like the nightmares ever growing?
It's literally it's atrocious. It's like so stressful. And on top of that, because I was still at uni and in my third year, it was like, okay, so you're gonna release this on this date. You're also gonna have a gig the following day. You need to have got all of your photography and stuff done like that. You need to have planned 3 weeks, 4 weeks worth of promotional posts before that, and you've also got an exam the next day. So like,
it's like okay, great. So the pressure's really on.
There's like not one moment of
having like a breather.
Talk about burning myself out, honestly. Like the last month, I've finally been able to just be like, kind
of like take a bit of breath and go,
life.
oh, this is it. I can see the sun. You got to think.
You finally get back to doing normal things, like just like doing your washing, and it's stupid things that become impossible when you're in third year of uni and trying to do all of that.
I think me and Jet know all too well about our uni stress and woes and things like that. I believe that's everything from us. Thank you so much for coming on, Esme. If there's anybody you want, you've got the chance now. Speak to both.
That's all good. Thanks so much for having me.
Our absolute pleasure, as always. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.